Hi, Joy Olson here, BlockBuster Fundraising. It's all about building relationships with your donors. And it's really all about how to build authentic major donor relationships. Hey, there are a couple of experts in major donor relationship building, and they are at Veritus Group. Richard Perry and Jeff, between the two of them, they have about 60 years of experience and really know what they're talking about, especially in the major gift area. That's what they excel in. They really know how to help you become a super successful major gift officer. It may surprise you, probably won't, that you should have a strategic plan for every major gift donor that you are going to be working with. So, right off the bat, you have a structure to work with, and then a great framework that actually works, that includes a revenue goal for each donor, actually a revenue goal month by month, a cash flow projection, and it certainly keeps you accountable. In their book, again, it's not just about the money. They talk about caseload, your list of donors that you think have both the inclination and the capacity to be a major gift donor in your organization. So which of these following donors should you spend the most time with? I thought that this was a really interesting example from their book. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this to you. And here it is. Which of these three examples would you pick to choose the most time with? Number one, a donor who has a net worth of $150 million and made a gift of $100 3 years ago. Or secondly, a donor who is very influential in the community, has a lot of connections and is interested in your organization, but who has never yet given to your organization. Or thirdly, a donor who has a net worth of $10 million and gave you $5,000 3 months ago. Well, I'm certain that you would probably pick the donor who gave the $5,000 recently. Why? Because, and Jeff and Richard call this a lower net worth. What they mean is this donor example was only worth $10 million, whereas the first one was $150 million. And as major gift officers, we work with people that have a lot of millions. We've got to be comfortable with that. But a lower net worth individual who is interested and engaged and behind your organization financially, that's a person who has already demonstrated an inclination to give. And that's far more important than the person who has a huge capacity but little desire so far to support you. It's very tempting, I think, for a lot of us to spend too much time with someone who has tons of connections, who can pull many strings, but they never put their hands in their pocket to support you. And the reason that these highly influential non-supporters should not be on your caseload is actually very simple, as explained by Jeff and Richard, and it's this. You only have so much time in the day. So, as far as possible, every minute should be spent developing economic value for your organization. And if you use your time to cultivate a relationship with an influential non-donor, you've got to be prepared then to not reach your economic goals. Chasing an elephant, as we would have said in the fundraising business. Jeff and Richard pointed out that it all goes back to the simple concept of the 80-20 Pareto principle, which reminds us all that most of our results come from a small percentage of the participants. They say that you must absolutely divide your donors into high to low value categories, because that's what will determine your planning. That's going to tell you where to spend your time, and that's what will guide your approach to each donor. So without putting in the time to segment that out, you're going to lose focus. You're not going to track well, and you're going to take action based on emotions and personal preference rather than well thought out plans and well thought out professional plans. And worst of all, you're not going to achieve your goals. I mean, it's so much easier, isn't it, to call somebody we know that's really friendly, that's going to be excited to hear from us, rather than to work our plan and somebody that we haven't gotten a yes out of yet. So what it really boils down to is that you've got to realize from the get-go that every single one of your donors is different. And you've got to build a relationship that takes time, and you cannot treat each relationship the same because they each have different interests. And each of your major donor prospects requires individual, customized attention. It's certainly hard to get to know all of your donors, and that is the reason that you must segment and classify your donors into 3 different groups so that you will know who you're working with, who are your top tier of donors. You've identified them. You've got to know who has the inclination and the capacity, because you are working major gifts, and that's where you've got to concentrate. Capacity and interest. And that's going to really decide how much time that you have got. So the middle group, and you know there is a big middle group out there, and that's really, refer to our moves management videos, because you want to put those people there. They're so worthwhile, and they need a program all of their own, and that's your moves management program. Okay, and hopefully you'll get some of those to your major gifts program for next year. So Jeff and Richard agree that you probably should have tops only 10 to 15 donors in that top tier of major gift peeps that you're working with. Because if you are a major gifts officer, you're going to be spending 50% of your time with those donors, because they have the highest potential and they will respond to your highest investment of time. So your plans and your moves with these donors will be very personal and very strategic, with a clear plan that is designed to retain them as donors, to secure additional gifts, and to upgrade to larger gifts. I hope you've enjoyed the visit with Jeff and Richard from Veritus Group, and check Veritus Group out too. They have an absolutely wonderful blog, and they really focus on major gifts. They're incredible. So the book is great, they're great, their advice is great, and hopefully this will give you some great tips, a disciplined, methodical way, but a methodical, disciplined way with so much passion and heart to work with your major donors. All right, it's Joy Olson here of BlockBuster Fundraising. We're so happy to be here with you today. You can find out a lot more about us at joyolsongroup.com. A lot of great video vlogging on blockbusterfundraising.com. Tons of free video fundraising tips on our BlockBuster Fundraising YouTube channel. We are sincerely enjoying our IGTV channel on Instagram. We love to come to you with inspiration, with tips that we feel that will help inspire you and help you get to great fundraising success. So thanks for having been here today. We go live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. and we will be excited to see you next week. Bye-bye.